got some Week 3 OFL football as the 2-0 Green Bay Packers, led by third-year head coach Colin Mentor, set to take on the 0-2 Carolina Panthers, who of course fired their head coach D. Brown this past week and rehired Father John. As on third down, Todd Gurley is stuffed up like Thanksgiving turkey by Marcus Davenport. Packers have it as on first and 20. Baker Mayfield, he's baking, he's cooking, he's scrambling, and he would be intercepted by Jamal Adams. You can't spell intercepted without the D. As a former LSU Tiger makes the play right there, Jamal Adams, now in his fourth year as a professional football player, third in the OFL. Panthers have it as the first play of the drive. Wes Lunt over to Jordan Reed, first 6. And the Panthers would take a quick lead. There's the former Illinois quarterback, Wes Lunt, with a dart for Jordan Reed. 7-0 is our scores on first down. Baker Mayfield would be sacked by Clelin Ferrell, the former Clemson Tiger. Panthers have it back as Wes Lunt up the middle just a little for Jordan Reed, the former Washington Redskin, to the 35. Now at the 18, handoff for Todd Gurley, and Gurley untouched like weekend homework until he gets into the end zone for a Carolina Panthers touchdown. They will make it 14-0, doubling their lead. Here's the Packers, 2nd and 8. Clelin Ferrell with his second sack of the day, as this has been a disaster of the game so far for Green Bay. 3rd and 15. David Sills, he is about 5 or 6 yards short, but we have a flag on the play. Face mask on Stephon Gilmore in his Panther debut. Of course, recently acquired and part of that Antonio Brown trade with the Saints a few days ago. The Packers will drive down the field and get a field goal off of rookie kicker Donald De La Haye. So now Panthers have it, 3rd and 3. Wes Lunt finds Jordan Reed once again. Jordan Reed has been Lunt's favorite target all day long. And then 2nd down, Lunt looking, he finds the all-time Westlake leading receiver in touchdown receptions, Ayo Yaluko, to the 4-yard line, and then Lunt, more time than someone waiting in a Burger King drive-thru. He would find Todd Gurley for 6, and the Panthers will make this game 21-3. I don't think anyone expected this, as Green Bay has it back. Baker Mayfield, he would find Hollywood Brown, the Oklahoma Sooner connection. 11 catches for a buck, 35 on the day for Hollywood Brown. And then first down, Mayfield scrambling like he's late on a date. He's going to find Chillar, who's chilling in the end zone. Packers would make this game a little bit closer as they're going to try for the comeback, making it 21-10. Panthers have it as Wes Lunt will be intercepted by Big Bladee, a second-round pick. He was projected top 10. Fell down the board and has been great this year for the Packers. He had that game-winning safety in Week 1 versus the Cowboys, and now that. There's Devin Bush with the sack, making it a 3rd and 11 for the Packers. They have it at the Carolina 23 as Baker Mayfield to Hollywood Brown, and Brown brought down at the 2. Packers are driving, and then they would punch it in with Alvin Kamara, and just like that, it is a one-possession game, and Green Bay has a chance. They're going to go for 2 as Baker Mayfield, he would find his man Colton Grundle, a rookie out of Penn State. Green Bay actually had a false start before that, so while it moved them back 5 yards, it also gave them more space to work with. Down to 21-18, first down. Todd Gurley lit up like a Christmas tree for a loss of a few, 3rd and 8. Green Bay needs a stop here as Wes Lunt. Plenty of time, but he's going to be sacked late by the former UCF Knight, the one-handed beast himself, Shaquem Griffin. And the Packers can drive down the field and kick a field goal to tie it or take the lead. As on first down, Mayfield to Brown. The Packers are in field goal range. 53 seconds left. De La Haye's kick is good, and we are tied up at 51 apiece. Here's Wes Lunt on 3rd down and 2. 25 seconds left as Lunt would be incomplete. So it does not look like the Panthers will be able to score here in regulation. A big fumble. However, the Packers do jump on it. That could have been devastating for Green Bay. Devin Bush with the sack. 4 seconds left. Packers going to lob up the hill. Mayfield's pass is almost caught by David Sills. but it's incomplete, and we are headed to overtime here in Week 3 of the OFL. Carolina wins the coin toss. They chose heads. How do you win the coin toss on heads? I thought tails never fails. Well, the Panthers choose to receive, so if they score a touchdown, they can end this game right now. Let's see if Wes Lunt can drive his team down the field and give them their first win of the young campaign. First down, here's Wes Lunt. Starting off overtime, over to Sammy Watkins, bringing it to midfield. Very next play, here's Lunt, the undrafted free agent, over to Will Fuller. And we got a flag on the play. This could be devastating for the Packers. It would be a face mask on Shaquille Griffin. And the Panthers now at the 28, 4th and 12. Here is Dan, the man, Bailey for the field goal. It is up and it is good. And the Panthers will take a 24-21 lead. Green Bay still has a chance to win or tie this game up. 2:25 to go. Green Bay has it up to 47. 2nd and 2. Kamara stopped. Big play by the Panthers. Now it's 3rd and 2. 2-minute warning as Baker Mayfield looking to throw it. Screen for Alvin Kamara, and he is a yard short. 4th and 1. Or 4th and 2, actually. This is the game. Mayfield to Kamara, and the Packers are still alive as Alvin Kamara gains about 5 yards, bringing it to a 41. 20 seconds left. It just jumps to 9 all of a sudden as we got a flag. It would be a false start on the Packers, but there's only 9 seconds left. Did anyone just see it skip 10 seconds? 1st and goal, handoff for Kamara. Kamara brings it to about the 7. Packers don't call a timeout. Their field goal unit gets on the field in a nick of time. De La Haye's kick is good, and this game will end up as a tie. What a crazy ending, but this game will be a tie. The Packers are now 2-0-1. The Panthers are now 0-2-1 as an absolute colossal choke from Carolina. They're lucky they didn't lose or else they'd be more of a meme, as the Panthers did tie last year with the Seattle Seahawks, so they're not new to this rodeo. I believe this is the first Packers tie in OFL history. Looking at the rest of the league, the Indianapolis Colts beat Minnesota 14-17. Efficient day for Jack Jackson as the Colts won their 2nd straight and improved to 2-1. The Colts had a rough year last year, but are trying to make the playoffs, and I think they have a decent chance to, especially depending on the play of the rookie out of Arizona State, Jack Jackson. As the Vikings dropped to 1-2, it's not been a great year for them so far. Eagles narrowly beat the Redskins 31-28. No team has been busier making moves since the start of the year than the Redskins. They just acquired Cam Newton, who had a really good debut, 4 touchdowns, no picks, but it was not enough as the Redskins go down to 1-2. I think Washington is still the favorites in the NFC East, but they could certainly not win that division. And then the upset of the week, the New York Jets beat the Seattle Seahawks 40-25. The Jets have scored a total of 6 points all year. They rack up 40 today against Seattle, who just beat the defending OFL champion LA Rams, as I don't think there's been a team in this league better than Seattle through the first 2 weeks. And then they lose to the Jets, and I don't think there's been a team worse than the Jets through 2 weeks. So that shows you that anything can happen in the OFL. That is very unpredictable. And then another surprise, the Buffalo Bills are 3-0. The Bills have made a number of questionable moves starting off the year, but they're 3-0. What can I say? Clearly something is clicking out in Buffalo. Miami Dolphins go down to 2-1. It's still been a good year so far for the Dolphins, but this would have been a big win for them, propelling them to 3-0. As Buffalo now with a 1-game lead in the division. Atlanta Falcons beat the Chicago Bears 20-30. The Falcons have been close to a Jared Goff deal for the past 2 weeks, but it doesn't matter as Eric Dungy has been dominant. 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the past 2 weeks. Okay game for Herb 9 as Green Bay goes down to 1-2. They lost last week to the Eagles and won in Week 1 versus the Minnesota Vikings. As Deion Jones with a big game, 2.5 sacks. It said there was a safety, but no one got a safety, so I assume Herb 9 must have ran in the back of the end zone. That sort of confused me, so I guess that's sort of funny. The LA Rams defeat the New England Patriots 20-3 as the reigning OFL Bowl champs get back on track. Not a great game for the offense, though. Both Lamar Jackson and Melvin Gordon struggling. However, New England was really bad. Very quiet day from Tyree Jackson. I did not catch Josh Jacobs' yards per carry. I assume it was probably pretty bad. So overall, looks like a pretty boring game. Not a lot of offense. Wasn't too down of a wire. The Arizona Cardinals will start off 0-3. I know their coach is happy about that as they want to tank. The Lions improved to 2-1 as the Lions have definitely made some questionable moves this week. However, they are sort of lucky, I think, that those trades did not happen because of the Falcons not having enough cap space. That would include Jared Goff, among other players such as Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Linder, Byron Murphy, and Brandon Graham, also heading to the ATL. The Tennessee Titans improved to 2-1. They beat the Bengals 13-17. Solid game from rookie Nick Smith. Bengals go down to 1-2 after losing by, I believe, 4 points last week to the Cleveland Browns. So the Bengals have had a pair of close losses. I would still keep my hopes up if I was the Bengals, but they do have a tough division with Pittsburgh and Cleveland, who did play this week. FG and the San Francisco 49ers improved to 2-1. Super Ninjas and the Cowboys go down to 1-2 as the Cowboys lost this one in overtime. So another heartbreaker for Dallas, who could be 3-0 right now, but they are 1-2. Nice game from Ezekiel Elliott. His yards per carry was like 9, I think, 8 or 9. Very impressive from him. As the Niners have definitely been a roller coaster. They won 37-0 against the Jets. Then they got killed last week, and then a nice win this week. So my Saints finally get a win over the Denver Broncos, 33-14. We made a trade for Alex Smith just to make the Bucs worse. That was the only purpose of it. And since we made a deal with the quarterback, they had Russell Wilson starting, even though I won in Champ Britain, which we won. I'm not really too mad. But it has stats for Alex Smith, so what I thought was Russell Wilson must have gotten hurt. And since he's not the starter, that's not the end of the world. But just in a second, you'll see why Alex Smith's numbers are awfully creepy. So the Bucs won 24-20. They're actually 3-0, which is a big surprise. But look at this. Will Grier threw for 7 yards. So what I think happened is the game thought Alex Smith was still on the Bucs for whatever reason. I know the trade saved when I was simming weeks. So clearly Alex Smith played this week for the Bucs. I don't know how that happened. And I think because of that, the Bucs got the win. And if not, there's a chance they could have certainly lost. The LA Chargers go down to 1-2. They lost to Denver last week. By the way, this is also the first CPU versus CPU game of this season. If you are not in the league and you're interested in coaching, you can just join the Discord and then you can be a coach just like that. The Jaguars beat the Houston Texans. It's been a rough year for the Texans. I believe they are now 1-2, I want to say. They might be 0-3, not entirely sure. Jaguars are now 2-0-1. Of course, they did tie with Kansas City back in week 1, who's also 2-0-1. So there are 3 teams that are 2-0-1. That's sort of weird. As definitely one of the most impactful games of the week, I think, for playoffs. The Steelers beat the Browns 31-13. Steelers are now 2-1. Browns go down to 1-2. These two teams were neck and neck last year for the division, which Cleveland ultimately won. Neither team made it to the conference championship. I believe both ended up losing in the second round of the playoffs. So that didn't really mean much. As quick look at the stats, Brad Kaya had an okay game. But if I was Cleveland, I would probably look to put Lamar Watson in. As the Chiefs beat the Oakland Raiders. Not been a great year for Oakland. I believe they are now 0-3, if I'm not mistaken. Chiefs, the defending AFC champions, are now 2-0-1. Of course, they did tie Jacksonville in week 1 in a rematch of the AFC championship. We will not get an NFC championship rematch this year, as the Saints did finish second in the division. Rams finished first last year, so those two teams won't be playing each other this year. And then the final score of the week on Thursday Night Football, the Ravens beat the Giants 21-17. Baltimore, who only won 4 games last year, already has 2 wins. Ryan Tannehill, I think, has been the OFL MVP so far. He has been absolutely incredible to start off this season. He has been truly sensational as he has put this Ravens team on his back. And the Ravens have my boy TJ Hawkinson, so I guess he's probably helping as well. So here's a look at the Week 4 games. I know my Saints have a bye. I know the Cardinals have a bye. And then if your team is not in there, they have a bye. Have a good one, everyone.